Good evening, Guitarcherist here. I'm going to keep this one short, sweet, and simple. 1920s Archtop guitar. The man that gave it to me, Bill Brown, told me that it was a Gretsch. I believe him because he has a lot more wisdom and experience in these matters than I do. Very talented guitarist, very knowledgeable in these things, and so he's someone I trust in regards to instruments and music. So the Gretsch Archtop vintage guitar, 1920s. This thing has been maintained as a player. It does not have, at least doesn't look like it has original hardware on it. These have probably been replaced at one point. Something I've seen on other ones is they'll kind of rust up and seize up, and they're really hard to turn. These parts break off, and then you got to use like pliers to tune it. And so I've seen a myriad of issues with older guitars. This one has all the parts necessary to play. One more little note on vintage guitars is that there's a little bit more upkeep with them. The wood is older, so it might have a tendency to, not give you gas, don't worry. But seriously, the wood might be more inclined to dry out or be a little more dried up because it's older. They make things, now this one would be a little harder to do because it has the F-slot sound holes, so it looks like a giant violin. But they make devices to like humidify guitars and basically keep that wood from being so dry that it starts to split. And on this one, I did start to get one of those here. But it still has a good sound, still plays really nice. I did have some work done on it at Sam Ash a few years ago, shortly after I got it. Had the action tweaked a little bit, got it a little bit lower. I didn't want too much done to it. Another thing to look out for, keep an eye out for, is usually on an Archtop, you'll have, I don't know if you can see it, but there used to be a piece of wood wedged in here. It was actually not wedged, but it was part of the construction of the guitar. There's like a little tab that'll stick off of here like this, and you put a pick guard there. And if you look down here, you see that hole right there. So the pick guard attaches on what is usually a wood tab here, and then there's a little metal rod that'll come down and around, and you screw into those two ends, and you can put a really nice pick guard on there. This does not have that, but again, it's a player. I got it as a gift, so I got it for free. Really and truly, you could probably find something like this or similar to it around in the $200 to $300 range. So not bad for a vintage guitar, something that plays nice, has a good action on it, just has a nice feel. You can play a variety of music on it, and it's not going to sound awful no matter what you play. It's going to sound nice no matter what you play. So there's something to be said for the quality of a vintage instrument. The other recommendation I would make is, if you get a vintage guitar, invest in a button. Okay, most of them will have one already part of it. On these vintage style guitars, you would usually have your strap and you would tie it off to the head. The problem with that, or the problem can be that when you do that, when you are standing and you have the weight of the guitar then suspended on the head, it kind of pulls the neck up and it'll throw the sound off. It throws off your tuning. As soon as you set it down, it usually readjusts and it's back on track. But it kind of will give you a weird effect sometimes. Because this is not like the newer guitars where it has like a metal rod that goes up and you can adjust it from the big sound hole. This is just solid wood construction, and it's just something you got to take care of. This one has been pretty well taken care of over the years. Has a nice sound. So I'm going to play a few chords on it, let you see what a vintage guitar can sound like, and might be something you'd be willing to check out. So here you go. I'll play a few different ways so you can hear it in different modes, so to speak. And just real simple. So there you go. Just a few different modes you could play in. I mean, you can play soft and easy, you can do blues, you can do rock. Nice versatility of capability there, which I've always appreciated about this. So vintage guitars, really nice. I mean, you can find them for as inexpensive as $100, or if you're really fancy, you can find them for like $1,000. Vintage guitars are either pretty inexpensive or very expensive. The choice is up to you, but vintage guitars, very nice to play, and I don't think you'd be disappointed if you found the right one. Always keep your eyes peeled, check for those little things, and the level of upkeep is entirely up to you. So this is the Guitarcherist signing off. Thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to comments and feedback. Take care. God bless. Rock on.